banged from both ends and both sides there because there's a lot of soft tissue and a lot of breachable walls and a lot of entry points on that side. That's why most teams don't actually opt to play on that side as well. Jackal being taken out there. Lese trying to learn. They didn't really use Jackal that much, but it was used in the first few rounds.
Yeah, indeed. And on Villa, as you said, it's a bigger map, and it's very likely that Xavier Esports, if given the chance, would have used the Jackal to more efficiently hunt down the roamers. We saw how good they were in the first place. And Xavier Esports, they're going to be banning Maverick. Maverick is an operator that not many pros are outright fans of. You know, some people just dislike him because there is a bit of some funkiness that goes on with his blowtorch sound, so you don't want to be surprised by a new hole that suddenly appears while you are unaware.
Peekaboo.
That's pretty much right. Peekaboo, you turn around and there's someone staring in your face. Echo being removed, and are we going to see Maestro ban? I think Maestro is the stronger operator here on Villa, especially if you are playing 90. But no, it's going to be Mira ban from Lese. And, well, defensive bans are the same. The offensive bans have changed. It was Capital Nomad on Coastline. Now we are going to Jackal Maverick.
Jackal Maverick being taken out. Fair enough. Maverick can be pretty detrimental to most defenses these days, especially if you're not taking a Thatcher anymore. Pulse being picked up, Legion, Bandit, Doc. Okay, these are pretty safe but aggressive operators to pick. So they're going for the safe option right now. Sledge being swapped out. Capital not being banned this time, being picked up. Gotta use it. Gotta capitalize on it. He has been dominant and prevalent in almost every game. But so will Lion.
That's right. And now I'm excited to see what Scatman has to offer on defense when he's not playing Monty. He is going on the Capital, which is banned. And look at the change in the operators. Now, Healthcare OG, he's sticking on the Sophia, but Lycolis gets the IQ this time when Producer Boom takes the Lion. Hajime is on the Hard Breach as he tends to be, and Scatman on that Capital. I'm really most excited to see what the Capital use is from Xavier Esports. Not just because it's Scatman, but also because Xavier Esports on attack, they try to bring something new every single time.
Absolutely. Avixis now with a particular defense over by the... They've opened the rotation, but he's placing the shield there so he can crouch behind it, defend that spot inside the walk-in wardrobe, and not get shot through the bathroom window. I think that's what he's doing.
Choice. Yeah, I definitely see it, but I don't know how effective it is going to be because...
I mean, you think you just reinforce that wall, right?
Yeah, it's much simpler. It reduces the utility wasted, and it's safer because if you start pushing the master bedroom, there are 3 windows on the master bedroom.
Maybe it's because he wants to use that rotation for himself. It's quite possible. But before we move on, I just want to talk, before we stay on this topic too long, I want to talk about Scatman. Because so far, he's been, since his introduction to the team, he has not been able to take the aggressive points and the aggressive places in the, as a player in that lineup. He's been, Healthcare picking up that nice kill onto Mizu. He's actually going to get droned down and killed there. They got fantastic droning and recon skills. That's what separates Xavier, if anything.
I mean, we talked about this, you know, the basement on Villa. It's not really useful for much, except maybe if you want to hide out there. And
that's exactly what he's trying to do, though.
Yeah, exactly. And he tried that, and that exactly showed why it's not really effective. So either you get droned out and killed very easily, or you're so ineffective in most of the round, by the time you get to where the action is, it's done.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And without Pulse this early into the game, that's a lot of aggression, a lot of firepower, and a lot of intel you're being denied, left out of. And wow, okay. Peek it again, I dare you. You won't.
Well, Lonely is taken very low as well, and now, as you said, there's no info game left for these guys. There's one C4 that has vanished, as well. Avixis, though, he trades out onto Hajime. That's a hard reach off the board. Healthcare uncharacteristically missing his shots. Avixis collects a second, but Lycolis cleans up Shaft. Daxam is going to get taken down, and now it's just very low HP Avixis. There's not much he can really do. Can he make a 1v3 happen? No. Producer Boom almost misplays that, but turns around just in time.
The Lion call at the right time gave it away for a lot of the players on that team there, especially finding out Mizu downstairs. Really locking him into place. You drone him out, okay, he's here. Call. Whoop.
Yeah.
Execute plan. Kill. EXE. Complete. You know, like, these guys are Terminators. These guys are just rolling through, just destroying and clearing the roamers one by one so effectively. Mozzie gonna come out, try bring a different type of intel. And maybe a little bit more aggression, not so passive and sort of not trying to wait around for too long. Switching over to Xavier, maybe swapping that up, trying to be a little bit more interesting. Xavier, an operator that we kind of just ridicule a little bit in Pro League for some reason. But on a big map like Villa, it might not be as effective. However, I suppose he's trying to stay a little safer. He's gonna have to actually keep an eye out for any drones looking for him. He might have to do a double rotation.
See, the thing is, they are bringing a Lion once again, so that's going to disrupt a lot of his freedom to move if it gets activated. And he's bringing the bulletproof camera. Okay, that's an interesting choice that I would never expect Caveira to do. But, well, they have impact grenades. But anyways, so number one, the Lion may be disrupting the movements that the Caveira might want to make. Number two, the impacts not being there means that Caveira has to rotate through the existing doorways and hallways. And number three, you're playing Caveira against the Caveira team in Southeast Asia.
Let's say I'm being very audacious having said that. Like you said, they played them on their map, now they're playing their operator on a map that they also excel at. They're trying to make a statement, I suppose, with Xavier Esports, that they're not afraid, even though they are bottom seed. We'll have to see how Lese do next week in their matchup, then to see how they measure up to all these other players and teams. We know how they measure up to the next. They're sort of like tied and even. They tie up, and they've only lost one map, but they tied up most of the other times. Sure, fair enough. They're pretty close in that sense, but how they measure up against MPT, Arrow Wolf, everything in the Pro League, we'll have to wait and see. But for now, Xavier Esports being very dominant, very calculated with how they play this.
Indeed, the wall not being reinforced is a bit of a question mark for me. The other one's being reinforced instead, the one next to it. Daxang wants to play this aggressively, and he's gonna pre-fire a bit, but he doesn't have the information cleanly to get a shot off. And now Xavier, if they didn't before, they know exactly where he is, and now they know that there's one player here that is, I believe there was Shaft on the dock. But it's going to be, for the first time I believe, Avixis taking, in the entire matchup, taking the first kill. The healthcare immediately trades him back.
Like, Cole's being taken out is a good sign for Lese, but Avixis dying, not necessarily the worst for Lese either. So statistically they win when Avixis dies, because he get focused on making short calls. But that's not exactly what you want all the time. The scope on this LMG is nuts. Oh no, he actually loses that. He had his head in his sights, but Daxam takes that kill for himself with a T5 SMG.
That's a really, really important kill. That's capital of the board. Scatman just hesitating a bit. Now Lonely is going to turn the screws further in his team's favor. Producer Boom is the one going down. The Lions not going to be sending out any more pings. But look at who's left. Hajime and Healthcare Uchi. If there's anyone who can do this, it is this duo. It's such a power duo.
Healthcare. Don't forget, he aced the enemy team. They aced Lese in the last map. The plant will go down. They're running out of time. 10 seconds left. The ADS on the corner
he's right
very sloppy. Very sloppy. And he misses the shot, and he's trying to pick the one up. One kill goes down and then double. Lese pick up a round early into the game. Surely. Good if he didn't put his health pick. What is...
I can't believe that.
Oh my god.
Lonely, man.
Why did you pick him if you're not going to use the armor? But okay, sure. You know, just like use him for his gun. Great.
Oh, that poor Hibana.
Oh, that poor Hibana. Look, just stuck in that wall.
This is what happens when you play Titanfall in the middle of Rainbow Six.
This is what happens when you play Titanfall.
You remember the Titanfall 2 mission? The time mission where that sergeant...
Yep.
That's exactly what Hajime tried. He tried to time jump away. See, that doesn't work in Rainbow Six, Hajime, unfortunately.
Yeah. You don't have the wrist gadget. Unfortunately, they haven't released that operator yet.
The wrist gadget is banned. That's
everyone
banned.
everyone complaining about rubber banding, but it's actually a leaked function. You know, like rubber banding is actually an operator's ability. So Ubisoft secrets right here.
Right. So what went wrong for Xavier Esports right there? Well, as you were talking about in pre-game, Xavier Esports very singularly focused on what they want to do, and while that worked for them a lot of times, it did not work out for them this time. And wow, what is this? We are not going to Aviator Games?
They must be confident with their kitchen.
I mean, yeah, kitchen is a tertiary bomb site, but wow, I
suppose it's like when you're playing on Clubhouse and you're expected to go into CCTV and cache, but you decide to go downstairs now.
True, but you know, there is some confidence speaking about them that they are like, all right, it doesn't matter if we don't go to AVG now. We're gonna be going to Aviator Games later on.
It might be to throw them off their operator composition. Maybe they're thinking, you know what, they're gonna set up to attack Aviator. We're gonna take them to kitchen, and they're not gonna be as effective. However, these operators are effective no matter where you go.
Yeah, that's very much true. And let's see whether the Cav has any more impact this time around. Now, last round she didn't have an impact, but it wasn't her fault. It's just that Xavier Esports was just shut down by the anchors and the close roamer, so the Cav didn't really have a chance to do anything. Let's see if in this round whether, you know, she has an effect trying to waste time or maybe even get the cream of the crop and interrogation.
Yeah, well, it does look like they are pushing up very methodically and very slowly. Mizu's already rotated back up to the first floor. Daxam's going to try to hold this as long as he can. He's going to put down a couple of more goo mines to try to keep Lonely a little bit safer. No, not sorry, Lonely. Avix is a little bit safer. It does look like Claymore's going to go down. They're going to try to cover their flanks. They know someone's around. Not too sure. An inkling and a premonition, but unsure of exactly where Mizu, that roamer, is. Will he be able to get an interrogation up, however, is the real question.
Yeah, indeed. And what I'm interested in finding out right now is whether the anchors are going to be repelling the Xavier attack so very nicely. Or is Lese on their own map pick, I believe, going to start showing something really nice? And look at that, Lese once more getting the first pick. Avixis goes down, immediately traded out, yes, but you know, he has taken down the Hibana. Unfortunately for him, he couldn't do that before she did her job.
Well, there was still one set of X-Kairos pellets that were denied, so a small victory for him. Jaeger going down is not a huge issue, because all his ADS is already planted, so his utility will be present even after his death. But now that they are pushing up, Scatman throws out 2 flashbangs, and he's going to try to maybe get inside the initial area for the kitchen. Mizu goes down, there goes that Xavier. It does look like Polis might be able to get an angle here. So, ooh, Lonely with a little bit of a duel has to pull back a little bit.
This is a good angle that Lonely is holding right now, and he's almost going to win it, but Scatman, he collects 2, Shaft is walking into it, and Hellcat is going to clean Daxam up. Xavier Esports with a very, very good response right away.
Very
impressive,
clean round, unfortunately.
There was even a camera train on them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, Shaf, unfortunately, walked into the line of sight, tried to cross over, not the right choice at that time. Gotta get rid of those nerves.
Yeah, indeed, you gotta trust, because the Legion had a great angle and he was taking a bit of damage, but I think he still could have held out, you know, at least delay the push in. But unfortunately,
they didn't have to rotate. They could have just held those spots and waited for them to actually come inside.
Yeah,
but we'll have to see how this next round goes. It's still very close. The fact that Lese have a round this early spells certain good fortune. But they're going back to the same site. Surely now using the Rook armor, the armored t-shirts.
Yeah, there we go.
Maybe that's actually gonna help. Yeah, maybe they'll help this time. You know.
I mean, they didn't need the help last time, so maybe the good luck charm is just keep it in reserve. Just don't put it on.
Maybe that makes Rook extra thick.
Yeah. It's about the invincibility. You know, you put it on, you think you're invisible, but you don't. You play it more cautious. And maybe it's really that.
Maybe it's exactly that.
I started that thought out as a joke, but now that I think about it, it's possible, you know, that...
I mean, statistically speaking.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I'm excited to see what Legion... sorry, not Legion. The Mozzie does. Mizu on the Mozzie. What can he do on this larger map where it's going to be harder to figure out which drone is yours and which isn't with the first glance without having to go into this camera system yourself. So
you know what they need to change up though. I feel like Lese actually needs to start roaming in pairs and a little bit closer. They were roaming in pairs in the last map, but they were still 1 to 2 rooms apart from each other. They need to inhabit the same spot and actually be able to refrag for each other if they're gonna do anything like that.
What the? Okay, I thought.
No, they're gonna go for rotation down. It does look like maybe he saw a drone in there. He wanted to get it.
Yeah, I guess so. Probably Producer Boom's drone that was spotted out, but he's on the Tokebi this time around. No lion for him. But global abilities, yes, they will continue. Now the Mozzie is going to deny Healthcare the ability to push his drone in. But unlike a Mute, he can still maneuver his drone away. So that's kind of one of the negatives that people highlight when you talk about Mute versus Mozzie.
He's going to use that concussion, that impact grenade from the lifeline to try to see if he can get that drone inside the room. Into the room. He probably did. ADS denies a couple of frags, a couple of flashes. This looks like Mizu's going for a very aggressive position. Avix is still trying to hold that door very close to something.
So it's just 1 minute left in the round in Xavier Esports. These guys have been knocking on the door of the bomb set for a while now. But this wall not being opened up, Avix is now just hiding behind it. He got the first kill here. He was refragged. And this is where everything just slipped away for Avixis. Now, Daxam and Mizu, they're gonna get the first 2 kills right here. Excellent stuff, and the phones are ringing, but Xavier can't do anything.
Yeah, that Dokipi is in a really, really bad spot. Producer Boom is not gonna have a fun time at all. He singled out. He's essentially going to be tunneled in. The Vixus picks up a nice kill at the Hajime. There goes the Hibana. Doesn't get to use her gadgetry anytime soon. And Producer Boom takes a lot of toxic babe damage. Shaf picks up Scatman. And it does look like this might be a flawless round for Lese Esports. No, it won't be. Producer Boom picks up 1 kill, but Shaf refrags right after. Defenders win. Lese Esports now 2 rounds in.
This is really good from Lese on Villa. It's a lot better than what we saw from them on Coastline. This is excellent. It's very promising stuff. I liked how they played. You said, you know, you want to have 2 men roaming, and you could see that Avixis and Lonely were giving each other support every step of the way. One of them got flashbanged, the other was ready to pick up the mantle and peek in case someone decided to get aggressive. Now, the thing about Xavier Esports attack there was, they tried that singular attack that they used on Coastline. It didn't work out because that wall wasn't opened.
Oh no, are you serious? They're going with the Doc and the Rook? And they're going with the Xavier, and they're not swapping it up, but they're going to swap the Bandit for a Legion. This is interesting. Well, I did not expect this.
They're going back to Trophy and Statuary, and a Bandit isn't really necessary, but I think what they realized was, Lycolis is bringing the Thatcher, and we're going to have Hajime on the Hibana, so there's not really a point trying to deny this wall that Daxam is reinforcing right now. Whatever happens, we can't Bandit trick this effectively enough. to make sure that we keep it closed.
Mizu's creating a couple of kill holes. The t-shirts are down, by the way, this time. Lonely didn't forget. Does look like he will be roaming around upstairs, and he probably has quite a lot of information on him. His job, however, is not to get the interrogation. It's to deny and waste as much time as possible. Xavier are methodical, and they clear the roamers first, and then they move into the site. They have a checklist. It's rigid. They know exactly how they progress. However, that can be used against them. If they waste too much time on this Caveira, they will lose precious plant time, precious attack time, and their position becomes more precarious as it drags on. That's all he's got to do right now, but Scatman already has that drone in the master bedroom, and they might be able to take that second floor real quick.
Yeah, that's the thing. Mizu must play that very, very carefully. And the interrogation, if he gets it, is just going to be a bonus, although it's unlikely for him to get it. At this level, you don't usually leave your members all alone. So,
no.
Yeah. Even if you get the down, you should just finish it off unless you're really, really certain no one's going to be aggressing onto you while you're vulnerable on the floor. Now, as you were talking about this attack coming out from everyone, Mizu's just going to be hiding over here. While Xavier's just not really doing much. They're droning in, of course, as you said. They have the checklist that they're going through. But so far, Lese doesn't really have to do much to survive. Now, Darkseid's going to take a lot of damage, but he's going to get healed up back to full HP. See, that's the benefit of bringing a Doc and a Rook. So you take less damage, and you can get back up to full health. Producer Boom! Incredible stuff. No one's watching the jump in, and Producer Boom just gets in and takes down that Legion as well as the Doc. So it's all up to Lonely. And now Mizu's facing this Claymore. He's going to break it and going to come charging back towards the site. Avix has already taken out Hajime, and Lonely, he's just gonna walk through the fire, lose a lot of HP, but he can't get the kill. He misses. He shouldn't have lost the gunfight, and Healthcare is going to win it instead. Now it's just up to Mizu's. Producer Boom gets his third of the round. Lycolis is planting Diffuser in the default spot, but can we? It is a 1v1.
Oh no! That was so close. Mizu brought it to a 1v1, and he was so close to clutching it out, but caught in a reload animation, push at the wrong time, gets caught on the flank. He had the right idea, he knew exactly where to look, however, reloaded at the wrong time. He didn't have to. That was a bad habit he needs to eliminate.
I mean, I don't think he expected the IQ there in the first place, because the rest of the team, they were all focused on the astronomy stairs. Like, the first shotgun kill that he got, he shouldn't have been getting that in the first place. The flank drones, I guess, not present. The IQ not in position.
You know what it probably was? IQ was in the right spot. He was probably in the middle of the trophy room. Heard the gunshots, decided to rotate. She is a 3-speed operator, and she can rotate real quick, real fast, and very aggressively. I mean, she is the operator that Priest, the content creator, actually got the fastest clear time on a realistic terrorist hunt with, because of the IQ, the commando, and the rotation potential because of IQ herself. We're seeing a similar lineup come out for, let's say, they're quite confident that this is exactly what they want and how they want to play it. They'll just fix a couple of mistakes here and there, put a couple of holes in the wall, hold the positions, and maybe make less mistakes. Because honestly, Xavier really capitalized on that double kill on Shaf and Daksam, and that set them up. If they didn't get that double kill, it would have been a very different game.
Yeah, I think you're definitely right. Producer Boom was the key to unlocking that whole defense and pulling it apart like, just some very, very fragile China. But it's a small mistake, and one that I think Lese can definitely fix, because the pattern so far has been Xavier wins a round, Lese fires back. So, I think this is going to be a Lese round. They learn every single step of the way. They make a mistake, they're like, alright, this is what went wrong, we're going to change something up. And that's the hallmark of a team that is already good or is eventually going to become a very, very strong force to be reckoned with.
Absolutely, they have fantastic potential in this professional league for Rainbow Six in Southeast Asia. It's just about now being baptized and canonized into this new league and this new level of play. They are not used to this, and you know what? They're gonna have to learn one way or the other.
Yeah, in a sense, it's good to go and get the hardest game of the season out of the way immediately, because then you know it is going to be upwards for you right away. After that, you know, it can't get any worse.
Absolutely. Avixis thinking of peeking this, and oh my gosh, please don't do that. It's going to give everyone in the backseat for the viewership a little bit of a heart attack. Avixis waiting for that heal from Shaf, and he's going to bring it in just a little bit. Taking quite a lot of risks here. Healthcare gets taken out. Lonely picking a very good kill and waiting for that double heal back.
I mean, you see, that's the thing. You can take those gunfights, and Avixis is going to take them producer boom as well. This is working out swimmingly for Lese right now, and as I predicted, the back and forth, Lese seems to have fixed every one of the issues on this bomb site. Xavier gets one, they fire back, and Xavier doesn't know what's going on right now. Utility has been expended except for the X-Kairos pellets. Pretty much everything is gone. Now Mizu is coming back on the flank. Now, Lacolis suspects, I'm not sure if he knows for sure, the flank drone should be giving him information if there is any, and there should be, especially at this level of play. Scatman thinks he sees something but doesn't move. Now it's just standoff right now. Mizu is seemingly gonna get a move on, but unfortunate, that was a wrong call. Lycolis' patience paying off. He's down to 25 HP, and he is trying to make this work, but there's only 25 seconds left in the round. Finally, they get the wall open, and this is taking way too long. It's going to take a while for those X-Kairos to burn through as well. Lycolis still watching the flank, but no one's flanking. They're just going to trade out on the bomb site.
Lycolis being taken down now as well, and Scatman's not healthy either. Hajime is the only one left. Avixis with a double kill, and then Zaxam cleaning up on the last member. Lese looking so much more confident here on Villa.
And that is really, really nice from Lese Esports. They are keeping Xavier Esports honest, and you know, it's obviously the rules are swapping. Could we see Xavier drop points immediately in the first game of the season?
Oh man, that would change the entire pace, the entire setting for the Rainbow Six Southeast Asia scene.
Yeah, indeed. And like,
I'm frothing at the mouth. Enfield, help me! I'm frothing at the mouth.
In 2 seasons, the only team to take points off of Xavier has been Airwolf, and that came last season on the final play day, and was very lucky. Yeah, and it was a very lucky draw as well. That they really shouldn't have been getting. So
yeah,
if Lese comes out of the block, sure, they got absolutely wiped on Coastline, but on their own map pick of Villa, they have been able to keep this much stronger team on paper. Very, very honest.
And now we're finally going to Aviator, but with Xavier Esports. Something we didn't expect to see. 3-3 now. Not many teams can bring Xavier this close.
Yeah, that's right. But what I'm interested to see is if, you know, suppose there is truly a defender-sidedness to Villa, and suppose that Xavier is really better than Lese. Maybe the reason that Xavier hasn't really been able to flex their muscles is because they were on a disadvantaged side. Their attack's not as polished as Lese's defenses. So this first round is going to be telling quite a bit what Lese has to offer on their own attack and how Xavier responds to that on the defense. Because if Lese wins this, I think they are in with a very good shot of taking at least 1 point. And what a lineup they're bringing.
Yeah, absolutely. They're bringing a lot of dominance here. No Lion, but a Blackbeard.
And Finker and a Monty.
Yeah, they're trying to go for a very aggressive push by the look of it. It does look like they might try to Finker rush this. Not sure what side they're going to try to get through. But Scatman, like you said, trying to open a little bit more line of sight. He has that evil eye. He might be able to deny a little bit more. But Shaf with a little bit more intel tries to give a little bit more awareness to the rest of his team as they try to push through. A lot of their team are bunkered around this balcony, and they're gonna have to brute force their way through if they do not get a flank.
Avixis needs to come in and take down the Evil Eye. If not, they can't get this wall open. I think there might be a way for the Evil Eye. No, I don't think so. The angle is quite poor, but they can't get the wall on the west. They might be able to get the north side wall, but not the west side one. So
it doesn't look like they're gonna get that camera with the frag grenades. He's out of frag grenades.
Oh no! So the Evil Eyes are here to stay then. And that's a bit of a misplay. I'm not sure where those frag grenades went. Were they burned by an ADS, unfortunately? But
most likely.
That was truly unfortunate. And oh, they're gonna try the trick by opening the floor and bypassing the bandit charges completely, and it's worked. But this Valkyrie camera healthcare is gonna try peek out behind. Not gonna collect anyone just yet. There's an Evil Eye that's staring Daxam in the face as well.
Daxam's being a little bit more disciplined than we saw him before. We're not sure if Scatman's gonna have time to get on that camera and then use the Evil Eye to track them, or even do anything about it, or if he's just gonna feed information to the rest of his team. Does look like Producer Boom and Healthcare are hanging around the corners, and it looks like a pretty stale game so far, but 30 seconds on the clock, it's surely about to explode.
Indeed, Lycola is playing here at 90. Hajime has taken out Mizu. Now, despite the smoke, the Evil Eye is going to tell him exactly where everyone is. Hajime takes a second one down, and Lycola is still wrecking havoc. Hajime gets too excited, and Scatman picks up one more kill for his team. Is just a very low HP of Ixas and a full health Daxam. Now it is a shield, he might be able to get the plant off, but it's very, very unlikely. 25 HP left, and oh, Daxam actually gets Scatman, and another one. Now he's gonna go for the plant, but he's too vulnerable, can't turn around in time. Then Producer Boom and Healthcare. Here they have Xavier Esports nearly letting it slip, but they pull through.
So what Lese didn't do was flush them out of that site. They were all bunkered in, and they didn't flank. They didn't use any vertical play. There's a lot of soft floors, and they only attacked from one angle. All Xavier had to do was look in one direction and just say, sorry, you're not getting in. And they didn't really get in very easily. Monty pushed through in a very awkward way. And Daxam got a double kill from that. But it was so forced, it really didn't work out for Lese. It's not something they're going to have to want to do again. Monty's coming back in, but they're now bringing a Lion and a No.
So, the Nomad coming out, it's going to punish Xavier Esports trying to get out of the bomb site and trying to jump around, but as you said in the previous round, on 88 in games, they didn't care for any of that. They just bunkered in and they're like, alright, we'll just wait you out. Hold the crossfires, deal with the Monty that way. It's not the most comfortable way of dealing with Monty, because whenever a Monty is in play, you're always having the uneasy feeling, what is this guy going to do? Is he going to be a problem for me late game, and so on and so forth. It was a problem, but thankfully time was so low that they were able to deal with it.
They left that to the last minute, wasted 2.5, not actually dismantling their defenses. And I say this over and over again. And defense on a lot of maps is very defender-sided because it's a defender game.
That's true.
You know, I mean, it's about the attackers solving the defender puzzle. Defenders set up a maze, a trap, construct their lair. And it comes down to the attackers to dismantle it, solve how they're going to attack and get in, and then execute that plan. That's what makes this game unique to every other FPS game currently on the board. And however, they weren't doing any of that. They were just kind of forcing their way in.
Yeah, and the attackers need to fight time as well. You know, even if you unlock the defender puzzle, you have the time. So, round number 8. Can Lese keep the pattern up and tie things up? Daxam, he's made his way into the bomb site, but it's going to be repelled by the smoke. Hajime is the one who's taken the damage, however. surprisingly, the Monty able to avoid breathing any of that toxic gas.
So it doesn't look like Lese is going for a very multifaceted attack. They're all very healthy right now. Hajime with health than usual. They will be... They're trying to still maybe set up the attack a little bit more methodically. They're doing a little bit more droning now, but pushing up very aggressively through the bathroom. It does look like Avixis is trying to call a couple of pings down on maybe Hajime. Maybe he probably spotted him. Calls it in. The Monty pushes through. Does look like they're drone, and their calls might provide a little bit of safety, and maybe they'll be able to get this out. Hajime is being pretty dangerous right now, but producer boom! Oh my gosh, Lonely takes a lot of damage.
How did was that? Oh, it must have been impact rain from below. But Lycolis has knifed Mizu in the back, and Hajime has taken on Avixis. So this low HP, and oh no, that is the wrong time to de-shield. Scatman takes out Daxam. Shaft just straight back onto Hajime, and Lonely. Whoa, what? That was a very, very nice tap onto healthcare, but they are still at a disadvantage right now. And Remind's gonna come out, two of them really. Both of them taken down with... Whoa!
And just like that, Xavier Esports clean up a very sloppy, very messy attack from Lese. Like I said again, all in one angle, and no diversity, no 3D aspects to this, no verticality. If they played the vertical game, if they played a flank, it would have been way more successful.
Indeed, and you know, the Legion got their attention and they couldn't do anything about it. That just allowed the other two members, Scatman and Producer Boom, to just come in from the back and just shoot you. Very easy. So, 5-3 for Xavier. Is this when Xavier just pulls away? Is it really the defend-decidedness coming into play here? So, you know, Xavier obviously... on paper, definitely a stronger team. According to Map 1, a stronger team, and now they get defense too. Is this it for Lese?
It might just be because Lese's attack have been sloppy, so sloppy for the last 2 rounds. They have to pick this up and start playing like they did against every other team. You know, like we saw them play so much smarter on Villa before. But they're not playing like that anymore. Something's happened. They're tunnel visioning. They're only thinking about pushing, but only pushing on this map or on any map on an attack is a failure from the start, because you can't expect to win based on just forcing a line of sight and getting in there. Sure, you have Monty, but you need to still provide that Monty that 3D defense.
Yeah, absolutely. And unfortunately, Lese have not been able to do that so far. For their sake, I hope they are able to change things up. But Xavier Esports, meanwhile, defending kitchen, dining, they have won both the defenses so far. And let's see whether they can win a third.
They'll have to, because right now it's drawing away real quick. Xavier now 2 points up in these rounds. 2 rounds up. Avixis picks up a nice kill onto healthcare, and that spells good fortune for them. He's already pushed into astronomy. He knows one more is around the corner. He hears the impact and he rotates around as well. He follows him right through, and they're playing Ring Around the Rosie. He's going to drop right over.
Well done.
Picks up another double kill right over to Lycolis, and the Claymore goes down with it.
Oh, the Producer Boom should be getting this frag. He sees...
Did he hear him? Oh no! Shaft is right there to refrag. He picks up one, and so does Daxam. This might be exactly it. Scatman's all by himself. He has the LMG. He picks up one. Avixis didn't know, but now he will relay that information. He runs through, and he's going to get concussed as well. He's not exactly in the best position, but he hides behind that... Pet Bomb, picks up a nice double kill through the pixel. The Monty's pushing him, and he's got a lot of pressure on him. Shaft's coming around the corner, and Mizu's around there as well. The frag grenade doesn't exactly hit its mark, but he will get picked up. Mizu picks up that fantastic kill upstairs with the vertical play.
There we go, excellently done from Lese Esports, and they are keeping themselves in this fight. Xavier just completely bamboozled on the roam there. Excellent clear from Lese, and who better to do it than Avixis? He really drove the wedge into that defense, and the ring around Rosie. If he had lost that, perhaps Xavier would have been winning that round, but that was a very, very important kill that he got.
Absolutely. That aggressive double kill from Avixis set up the rest of the team to take out the entire Xavier. And those were key players that got taken out as well. Don't forget, he almost got taken out as well. The Jaeger, Lycolis, was upstairs. Was it Lycolis or was it Hajime?
It was probably Lycolis.
I think probably Lycolis. He is the Jaeger main.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he was upstairs and he was about to catch him out. He put down one shot into that, into the ADS. And that told Shaft exactly what he needed to hear. The IQ didn't hear it, because the IQ was unloading bullets into a wall.
Indeed, right?
Yeah.
It was really surprising for everyone to see Shaft suddenly pop up over there, because otherwise the IQ was just gone.
Yep, I didn't expect him to be there at all. I was like, oh, he's there, okay, cool. And so that refrag saved the rest of his team, and that allowed Avixis to die and provide information.
Yep, there we go. And
I say allowed him to die like it's like privilege.
Well, I mean, if you're Bane, then you have to be allowed to die. You can't just die.
That's
Only
true.
then, after giving me your information, do you have the permission to die. I bet that's what Kavera says in the mirror.
That's probably what Kavera says in the mirror. She is pretty spoopy. You know what? That might be exactly what Nook says as well, but we'll only find that out in Season 11 coming in when she starts seeing the Pro League herself. Monty's still on the board. Daksam loves that shield operator, and Lonely will be pushing through with the LMG downstairs, trying to clear it out and provide a little bit more clearance for the rest of his team to proceed.
Indeed. Now, Producer Boom's going to be playing 90 with a mute, and that's an interesting choice. Usually you would play someone with a lot better of a long-range capability.
Oh,
and
no.
That's a very smart way to angle the Evil Eye, because you can't shoot it despite disabling it. So
That's
it keeps
smart.
the Evil Eye safe. Very well done from Scatman. And look, he's not using it as well. He sees... Oh, that's free! How's no one watching the Evil Eye? Come on, the Monty, what are you doing?
Rookie plays, guys. What is happening? Monty's back up there, and you know what? The floor is gone. They won't be able to anymore because there is no soft tissue for them to put the exothermic down on.
Oh, goodness.
The jammers are out as well, and you know what? This doesn't look good for Lese.
No, that was not a mistake you can be making. And now you talked about vertical play. Lonely's gonna try and give some of that, but he is not a buck. I mean, the buck is there with him as well. But Lonely, I'm not sure how much he can contribute from this angle in the first place. The best he can do is provide coverage in case someone from Xavier decides to get interested. Now, a bit of damage trying to be done to Daxam, but the shield saves him from all of the blast. And there we go. Lycolis is going to take out Lonely. Lonely's job was to keep the vertical play consistent. And there we 3 kills right there. Vixus trades back, but Hajime immediately refrags. It's all up to Mizu on the first floor.
Oh no, he barely picks up that shot as well. He just misses it. And he's going to have to pull out a 4-kill streak in 20 seconds. It looks like Lese's best shot is now a draw.
That's right. They are still not out of it, but it's almost certainly going to be 6-4. He's just crouching around the map. I don't think he believes himself that he can make this clutch happen. Smoke grenades are going to get tossed out as well. Healthcare denying the information. He's coming the long way around. Doesn't even have the time. Definitely heard him sprinting. And Hajime one-taps him with a headshot. That DMR well controlled by him. Easily done. Xavier Esports move on to match point.
They still have a chance to bring a draw out of this, and it'll be something. It'll still spell good fortune for them, and still kind of set them up and set their place in the league. However, right now Xavier look so strong, and even though they have lost 4 rounds, a very different time than what we saw on Coastline, Avixis is now in Capital.
Yeah, I mean, Scatman with their Bandit Elite. I'm not too sure what I feel about that, but Producer Boom, he's gonna go off the Kaid and he's gonna go on to the Valkyrie, and information game is something that Xavier has been strong at throughout. Whether it's on attack or on defense, they need to know where the enemies are and they can capitalize on the information very well. The previous time when they lost, in the last round that Lese won, it was a lack of information on the IQ that got them into trouble.
Absolutely. Does look like it's going to be much harder for them to come through. Scatman has been rotating around. Probably will be bandit tricking on that same site. Even though they are defending a different area now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too sure about the viability of a bandit trick over there, but he'll be very, very happy to know that there are no frag grenades over on Lese's side. So, if he so wishes, he can bandit trick pretty safely. In fact, aside from the Xavier, there's no vertical pressure as well, so he can just sit there at the wall all day very, very happily.
Well, if Vixus actually uses the asphyxiating bolts on a vertical play, because now the flames drop due to gravity, he might be able to deny it fairly well, but he's gotta not die because he's playing really risky right now. That's not your job, Vixus!
Oh, dearie me.
That's not your job, Vixus! Oh, I knew it.
The Capitao is a very strong operator due to his utility, not just with his fragging ability, his free speed, but as you said, that's not the Capitao's job, at least early on. He can't be taking those fights. It's, we'd rather leave that to a Zofia or the Nomad, someone who's more sacrificable than I don't think that's a word, but at least, you'd rather have him die than the Capitao. So that's unfortunate right there. Oh, Daxon's gonna take a bit of damage right now. Hajime just going off prematurely. Might have been able to collect the kill, but not quite.
Doesn't look good so far for Lese Esports, losing their captain already, and Daxam now on half health. Not too big of a deal considering Monty doesn't need full health. And Muse will pick up a nice one for Lycolis from long range with the AK-74. Does look like Lonely will pick up one as well. The brothers are popping up and they might be able to save this game just for their team. Producer Boom picks up Lonely in return though, down by the kitchens, and it does look like he does land a double kill for himself.
I mean,
and there we go.
The wall can't be opened anymore because even if they get rid, unless they get rid somehow by shooting it. Oh, no, double kill! Producer Boom with the C4 from below. That's taken out everyone except for the Monty, who's gonna get taken down to 25 HP right now. And he has a minute to play with, but he's not winning this. No way.
No, he's got one kill. Okay, he might be able to pick up a second. He might be able to pick up a second, but I'm not too sure. He's gonna have to clutch this out like crazy. He's got the ability to, but walking up the stairs like this, 45 seconds. He's still got the time available to him. He's going to go get the diffuser just for good measure and maybe get into a better position. But it looks like he's got no other choice. Maybe he can bait it out with some smoke. No, he's going to push up right up to their face.
Crossfire he's over.
Yep. He walked right into that. He had to go all the way to the upper end of that rotation in order to make that work. But unfortunately, that crossfire does land the kill and the win for them. GG. And congratulations to Xavier for yet again another dominant round and another dominant game against Lese Esports in their first day of the 10th season of Rainbow Six Southeast Asian Pro League.
Yeah, and the only way he could have won that, maybe inch his way through it to rotation hole, but he couldn't. A Vix's excellent performance from him for what it matters in the end. 11